Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the subject of social science for the class 10th English medium. Today, we will be discussing about the chapter number 7, that is preservation of our heritage. Remember that the whole syllabus of 10th social science is divided into four parts. The first part is about the history and the historical places, and this is the last chapter of that part of the history and the historical places. Need for the preservation of cultural heritage. Why should we preserve? Why should we conserve? Why should we save the culture and the historical places of our country or even the world? You know that in the previous six chapters, we have learned in detail about our culture, our natural heritage, our man-made heritage, and all those things. Now we know that heritage of India is a multifarious. Multifarious basically means something which has too many faces, which has too many sides. So our heritage has too many different sides. So it's multifarious. uh, our heritage comprises of the sculpture, architecture, literature, arts, natural heritage, and so many other things. Natural and man-made factors are adversely affected, that is negatively affected, uh, affecting our heritage. Hence, its preservation is required. That is due to natural disasters and mostly man-made disasters, our heritage is adversely affected. Our heritage glorifies the people of our country, and so we should respect our heritage and try to preserve it, as heritage is our identity. It is necessary to develop positive attitude towards its management. We should preserve vanishing arts and architectures, those arts which are vanishing. For example, the patolas of Patan. Only one or two families in whole world makes those patolas of Patan. Then there is a special type of painting which is in the Kutch area, and there is only one family in the whole world who still practices that thing. The whole family practices it, but that's the last family. That means there are certain arts, there are certain places which are vanishing or has already vanished, which we may not know of. Let's not add other places and other arts to that list. That's the objective of this chapter. Necessity of preservation of cultural heritage. Why we need to preserve our cultural heritage? Now, our heritage is the identity of the nation. If we lose our identity, we lose ourselves. So we need to preserve our identity. We need to preserve our heritage. Now, those who ignores this heritage does not have any future. The errors we have committed in the past can be rectified in the present. That's the main thing. Heritage acts as a guide. Now, these sentences or words which I am speaking or I have highlighted in the text, you should highlight them in your textbooks. These are the important points from the context, from the text here. Uh, it is necessary for the transmission of new consciousness across the country. It is necessary to bring awareness for the damage done to the places of cultural and natural heritages. The common public should play their vital role for the protection of our heritage. It is necessary that not just the government but us, we should be the main people who should be protecting our own heritage. The heritage does not belong to government, it belongs to us, and therefore we should be protecting the heritage. We should try to cease its degradation. Cease means to stop degradation. It is the moral duty of not only the government but the common public, that's you and me, to conserve and preserve our heritage. Tourism industry and our heritage. Now, tourism industry means traveling, means whether we want to visit the Taj Mahal as seen in this picture, or we want to visit Delhi, or we want to go to Hyderabad or Kanyakumari or Kashmir or Telangana or any other place. We need some system, we need some services. For example, transportation services, we need stay services, that is hotels, restaurants, we need the tourist guide services, we need the local eateries, local restaurants of the local taste at all those places. So basically, all of these together means tourism. Now, various sites of natural and cultural heritage of India have been accommodated in the list of World Heritage by UNESCO. This we discussed in the last chapter. Many people come to visit these places to explore and do research on these places and to provide them services. These people are not foreigners always, they are also Indians like us. For example, if we are going to Delhi, we are the tourists there. So these people, we and the foreigners, boost the tourism industry and transportation industry. Along with the benefits of transportation and tourism industry, the benefits are provided to the states, and it gives opportunity and platform to showcase our culture to the tourists. Apart from this, tourism provides employment to the local people, and it also motivates vanishing arts from vanishing actually. Tourism is also taught as a subject in the education industry, for example, tourist guides, tourism planners, etc. And India earns foreign currency from the foreigners and the visitors. Tourism actually develops a heterogeneous culture, that other culture people visit some other culture people, or we visit from Gujarat, we go to South India, Kashmiri people go to North India, etc. All these things happen and it creates a heterogeneous means culture with diversity. So it creates a heterogeneous culture among the country. It also enlightens the talent of our country at an international level. Facilities like metal road, railways, water, communication, etc. developed around the sites of the heritage. Uh, Apart from that, employment is provided to the street hawkers or the chai walas and nasta walas and eateries and hotels and restaurants and lodges and all that. So tourism industry basically develops a heterogeneous culture, gives our dying heritage a boost, gives employment to people, provides economic benefits to states as well as the local public, and sustains the vanishing arts. So tourism is a very great thing. We all should roam around the world, roam around the India to boost tourism. Preservation of heritage and measures to conserve. Now, how to preserve the heritage and what measures should be taken to conserve? If we talk about our since independence of India, Indian government constituted Indian Board of Wildlife in 1952 to basically protect the wildlife. Now it is very necessary to understand that it was just a board, not a law. Board just means a committee which suggests the measures to be taken to protect the wildlife. There were no laws to do that. It facilitates the material for the conservation of wildlife. It also suggests government for the development of national park, bird sanctuary and zoological gardens. But it depends on the government to do these things. The board created had no powers. They were just like advisors. Then the Wildlife Protection Act was enacted in 1972, which gave a firm status to the national park, sanctuaries and bioreserve. Means once the act is created, it gets the power to do things according to the regulations and rules. So by the creation of Wildlife Protection Act, the national park, sanctuaries and bioreserves got a backing. New national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and bioreserves were created, laws were made, and strict laws have been framed to stop the destruction of the vanishing vegetation and wildlife. Apart from government, not just government, other several societies were created, just like non-governmental organization or service societies, or those who want to serve the society. They are taking a part in the protection of wildlife and environment. For example, the Bombay Natural History Society is the oldest one of its kind. It was established in 1883, before almost 130-140 years. Presently, Gir Foundation, Natural Club, etc. institutions are doing noble work of environmental preservation. If you want a hint, find a nature club in your own city If it is Valsad, it is Valsad Nature Club. There are certain nature clubs like Navsari Nature Club, Surat Nature Club. There are thousands of nature clubs working all over the India in almost all the big cities. So these clubs work for the preservation of the biodiversity, wildlife, and the environment. Ancient Memorials and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act. Now, this was an act created by the government for the preservation and the conservation of the monuments, the historical places, the archaeological sites. For example, if you talk about archaeological sites, it means Dholavira, Lothal, all those places. And historical places, we have already known them from our previous chapters. So, this act was created to preserve them, maintain them, keep them intact. The dangerous and harmful factors always are there in the way of heritage. So strict actions and efforts were made from time to time to preserve these things. Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act was enacted in 1958. This suggests for the preservation of antique artistic work, religious places, historical memorials, and archaeological sites. So these are the things which are included in the protection of this particular act. Antique works, religious places, historical memorials, and the archaeological sites. This act ensures that no person or agency, this is very important, mark this, ensures that no person or agency can conduct archaeological excavation without the prior permission of government. That means I can't dig a probable site of ancient town without the permission of the government, because it happened in the past that people did private digging and whatever relics they found, that sold it in the black market to foreign countries. That means our Indian monuments were destroyed and sent to foreign countries for the private profiteering. So to stop this particular thing, government enacted this act that if we find something or if we are digging without the permission of government, government may punish us. If we find certain relics, we have to hand them over to the government by law. The government of India declared some historical places as national monuments. For example, this picture is one of the national monuments. Department of Archaeology is responsible to look after the preservation of these monuments. As you can see, this monument is quite clean and it has been preserved up despite being hundreds of years old. This is due to the archaeological survey of India. However, these heritage sites will not be preserved just by framing laws. It is the responsibility of you and me. If government keeps cleaning it and we go and write our lovers' names on these sites, then of course they are not going to be there for next 100 or 200 years. They will be destroyed. Department of Archaeology maintains the sites of heritage which are either destroyed or are on the verge of destruction. Let us take an example of this thing, that Sangameshwar temple and Papnasham temples in Andhra Pradesh were going to be submerged into the sea due to the construction of Nagarjun Sagar multipurpose project. That's a dam. So these two temples were going to be submerged due to the rising waters of the dam. So what Archaeological Survey of India did, they took this temple, literally they took this temple and shifted them to the Alampur in Mehbubnagar district of Andhra Pradesh to keep them safe. So right now these two temples are safe at this district. So this is the kind of things ASI does. It keeps in mind their original shapes, sizes and preserves them as they were built as far as possible. It is not always possible, but they do try to keep them preserved. Let us take another example. The Taj Mahal of Agra, which is among the seven wonders of the world, was getting yellowish and pale in the color due to the pollution and the refinery of Agra. So what ASI did, they cleaned Taj Mahal step by step. It was great work, took them many months to do. And they cleaned Taj Mahal and then they stopped that refinery of Agra from spreading pollution. So that way they preserved our one of the most famous ancient monuments. What is our role in the preservation of museums? First of all, what is a museum? Museum is a place from relics all around the country which has no place are displayed, which we can visit and understand about our culture. It is not possible for us to visit each and every place or visit each and every culture all over spread in the India. But if we go to museum, it happens sometimes that we can actually check out the cultures of many different people in a single place. So museums are to show us the culture of our country. So that's why museums are there, and we have a Treasure Trove Act 1876 saying that if any citizen finds an ancient artistic and antique article from a house, field, well, lake, etc. It happens. Some ancient towns maybe are below your legs, below some meters of your legs, and when you dig, you find some relics. So hand them over to the government. Government will display those relics at museums, and they will be a research or study material for people to come rather than to be sold at the black market. So that's the rule, Treasure Trove Act 1876. With this small effort, they can preserve valuable things which could have been lost due to the carelessness. Government has tried to obtain information regarding personal or private museums consisting of expensive artistic pieces under the Act of 1972. We will start with the museums in India. I am not going to describe much. I am just showing you basic pictures. The National Museum, which is situated in New Delhi, that is in Delhi. Then comes the Indian Museum, which is situated in Kolkata, West Bengal. This is their coins display. All of these are ancient coins. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Museum, which was originally the Prince of Wales, a very famous museum of Mumbai, Maharashtra. As you can see, the ancient relics of those times. You can see some utensils here. Then comes the Salarganj Museum of Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, a very big museum, a very famous and very rich museum in the ancient history. Then comes Rashtriya Manav Sangrahalaya Pradesh of it's written Bhopal, but it is Bhopal, which is in Madhya Pradesh. This is other name Indira Gandhi Rashtriya Manav Sangrahalaya. It consists the lifestyles of different culture. As you can see, Manav Sangrahalaya, it represents the cultures of different civilizations at a single place. Lalbhai Dalpatbhai Museum, that is LD Institute of Technology, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Then Mahavir Jain Aradhana Kendra, Koba, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. This is one of the Jain museums that is our President Shri Ramnath Kovindji inaugurating. Shri Hemchandracharya Library, Patan, Gujarat. This has a very big collection of books, because you know the books, the literature is also part of our heritage, and it has one of the rarest literatures of Indian history. Then comes Vadodara Museum and Picture Gallery, Vadodara, Gujarat. It is a museum as well as the pictures, the paintings gallery of ancient times. You can see here this is one of the relics, the remains of a mammoth of Ice Age timings. What is our role in the preservation of our heritage? Our role, as I have already told you time and time again, that the heritage is ours, we have to preserve it. So the central, state governments, UNESCO, NGOs, everyone is working according to what they can do. They are performing their duties to preserve our heritage. But as a person, as an individual, we should also play an effective role in these directions. I am a teacher, so I will be teaching you guys about our heritage, and we should preserve. I will tell you that you should and I should preserve them. If you are a student, then what you can do, you can list out you can list out the historical places around you. You don't have to go far. Wherever you are, you just have to list out the historical places around you. You can let it be known to others. You can tell it to the authorities if they know or not. If you think that some place or some monument is there which is unnoticed, you let it know to the authorities. You visit those places, because you know when people visit something, it becomes livelier. It is preserved when people visit them. You know, with Ellora Ajanta caves, they were lost to public for thousands years, and then someone found it, and today they are well preserved. So when places are visited by people, they are well preserved. So we should help in their preservation and protection. We should take care of these monuments by preparing a list of all heritage sites. Things should not be destroyed, broken, or stolen. Schools, colleges, NGOs should conduct programs like visit to the historical places and sites. We should create awareness towards the preservation of heritage. Today we have WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube. We have so many social media tools to spread awareness, and it is just a click away. We don't need that much time. Whatever we are spending behind these social media tools, if we just spend 10% time towards the preservation of our heritage, spreading the awareness of our heritage. If you are in Surat and if you think about some new place or some ancient thing, just go there and click a selfie with it and post it on a Facebook. Make it a trend. So that way, if everyone is doing this, the places are preserved. People visit those places, and that way those places will stay there for next hundreds of years just with a selfie. If the specimen of the architecture, sculpture, or historical monuments are destroyed once, if they are literally destroyed once, it is very difficult to restore them to the original form. So it is our moral duty that they should not be destroyed and shifted to other place. Our country has rich and unique heritage, so we need to save it. As you can see here, if actually you pay attention at the ground which they are sweeping, they are not sweeping steps, they are sweeping a statue. A statue on ground, they are sweeping, they are cleaning it. These are the school students. They as a citizen are cleaning a historical monument. We as a student and teachers, what we can do, think about it. There are many ancient ponds, lakes, wells, step wells, streams, springs in different places in our country, not our country, in our surrounding areas. We should take special care of Malaw Lake of Dholka. Now this is one of the important points. Malaw Lake of Dholka, this question, this particular word has been, Malaw Lake, has been asked for so many times in your papers, and mostly students miss it. Malaw Lake of Dholka, Ranki Vav of Patan, Chapaner well, Bhamaria well of Mehmdabad, Naugarh well of Junagadh. During monsoon, we should constantly keep an eye on their preservation. Cleanliness and preservation of picnic spots. Taking proper steps for the cleanliness and preservation of our picnic spots is very necessary. Religious, historical places have always been a great attraction among locals as well as foreign tourists. Now, if a foreigner sees this picture, of course they have seen this kind of pictures. What will they think about us? What will they think about our culture? What will they think about our government, or what will they think about our forefathers? So naturally we should keep our picnic spots very clean, and it is up to us because we are the ones spreading the pollution. What can we do? Do not use plastic. Do not litter at picnic spots. Use dustbin. As you can see in the current government, everywhere dustbins are available. You just need to wait for 5 minutes or 10 steps. You will find a dustbin. Throw your garbage in dustbin. Don't litter at picnic spots. Do not spoil historical monuments either by writing or drawing picture, in which we are very experts. You know, we are very experts at drawing and writing at our picnic spots, at our monuments, you know, at Red Fort and Taj Mahal, etc. Don't, really don't. Waste should be properly disposed of. Do not spit after eating tobacco or pan. Actually, don't eat it. That's a very bad habit. Do not pollute surrounding areas of historical monuments. Extensive care should be taken during monsoon of historical monuments. Of course, the rain destroys everything, which constitutes step wells, lakes, ponds, streams. Keep them clean. Keep these things clean, because rainwater gives you water for drinking the whole year. If you keep these things clean, the rainwater will be harvested properly, which will provide you with pure drinking water throughout the year. If you don't clean them, the same water becomes a diseased water. It will harbor the mosquitoes and flies, and it will spread disease. Be cautious while cleaning monuments with archaeological chemical method. As you can see here, this is one of the destroyed monument, the monument before and monument after. Sanitize domestic and foreign visitors to avoid damage of our historical heritage. Here, sensitize means let them know about the importance of our heritage so they don't destroy it unknowingly. If natural disaster has caused damage to the historical places, make efforts to bring it again to the original form. As you can see in this picture, do you think there is any chance of it being coming again to its original form? So this happens to our historical places. Once they are destroyed, it is near to impossible to rebuild them. So keep them safe while we can. It is our responsibility to maintain beauty and cleanliness of the tourist places as they bring fame and prosperity to the nation. We should make use of science technology to maintain the originality of our ancient heritage. If a human can go to moon, what's the use if we can't even maintain our old relics? India unity in diversity. Being one of the most ancient civilizations of the world, we have really a varied and rich cultural heritage. Our India's diversity is really unique. India has amalgamation, that is a mixture of different caste, community, religion, tradition, culture, language, in spite of having variety. Yet India stands united and undivided because we believe in Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, that is the whole world is my family. This thing exists since Vedic periods, that is, let us get good thoughts and vibrations from all the four directions, that is, we should get positive vibes from everywhere. This is the message written in Rigved. This is an important point. In India has spread religious tolerance and secularism across the world. Of course, we live in a place with hundreds of religions, really, not just three, four, five, hundreds of religions, caste, communities, creeds, and still we are tolerant about each other. And that shows our message of religious tolerance and secularism across the world. Swami said the following words in the World Religious Conference, which was held in Chicago, US. He said that I am proud to say that I represent the religion that has taught the lessons of tolerance, compassion, and universal fraternity to the world. So, this is a very important sentence. India is a secular country. Now, secular means we are equal to all the religions. This is not just a sentence. This is our motto, our moral duty. This is in our blood. This is a part of our constitution. India is a land of multi-religious influence of Hinduism, Islamism, Buddhism, Jainism, Christianity, and apart from them, Judaism, Sikhism. There are really hundreds of religions seen in India. Therefore, the torchbearers named our country as Bharatvarsh by stressing on its unity. Holy names of seven sacred rivers have been used in our prayers. People like great sages, Sufi saints, Swami Vivekananda, Dayanand, Saraswati, and Mahatma Gandhi always said peace, coordination, and universal brotherhood. Once again, peace, coordination, and universal brotherhood. Unity in diversity is the unique feature of Indian culture. At the end of the day, all rivers amalgamate, mix into the great ocean, and likewise, our country includes different religions, caste, languages, traditions, creed, customs, and festivals. India gives us a feeling of coexistence. Indian people have conserved this quality and have enhanced it since thousands of years. My dear friends, thus ends our seventh chapter and the last chapter of the history portion. Next time we will be starting with the geography portion, that is the eighth chapter. Learn this chapter properly. If you need, make notes. If you have any queries, contact me personally. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe, and see you soon, my dear students.